Hi and welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John. I'll be taking through the charts this Tuesday, the 8th of November. Here we have the live currency strength indicator tables in front of us. We have the trend traders table and the day traders table. These are showing the same studies but just highlighting different time frames. You can see here that some of the currencies are highlighted in green. That means that there is a confluence between those two trading time frames, and that's where we're going to be focusing our attention on in these videos. The tables auto update every 15 minutes 24/7, so wherever you are on the planet you can access these tables and get the absolute latest update. So the live currency strength indicator tables, what are they telling us today? Well, it's showing us that the New Zealand dollar remains the strongest currency, being S1 on both the trend traders and day traders table. That's then followed by the Australian dollar, which is the second strongest on both tables, which is then followed by the euro, which is the third strongest on both tables. On the weak side, we've got some differentials. However, the US dollar is the weakest currency on both tables here at W1. On the trend traders, it's followed by the Japanese yen, being the second weakest, and then the Swiss being the third weakest. On the day traders, it's showing us that the pound is the second weakest and that the Canadian dollar is the third weakest. What's interesting about the tables at the moment, it's showing us a little bit of what the market environment is telling us, is that it's a bit more risk on at the moment, in terms of we've got the, or what would be the haven currencies like the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, all weakening, but then you've got the sort of riskier assets like the New Zealand dollar, the Australian dollar outperforming other markets. So it's very much a risk on sentiment at the moment, which is quite interesting to see in the current climate. In this video, however, we're going to be focusing on Aussie US dollar. We have recently talked about New Zealand US dollar and Euro US dollar, so if you want to check out those videos, all you've got to do is come over to your daily currency strength analysis video, especially if you are a pro member, and you'll get current access to those videos. So Aussie US dollar is going to be the one we're focusing on today. Let's go jump into that chart, and I'm actually on the weekly chart at the moment because it gives us a really nice narrative of what the market is doing at the moment. And what we can see is that the weekly chart is very much in a downward trend. Prices found a high up here around the 0.8 handle. And then pretty much since then we've been trading to the downside. The market's been making pretty much lower highs all the way down to where current price is at the moment, which is around the 0.6483 handle, which is shown up here on Chart Partner, just there. Okay, so when we see something like this, we have to assume that the higher time frame trend is going to be the dominant trend in the market. And what I mean by that is this downward trend is going to be more dominant than the potential rally that we're seeing here. Okay, now however, if we are going to see that rally, we're going to look for opportunities for where that rally could end and that dominant trend could continue from. Doesn't mean that it is going to continue. You know, price could continue and change trend completely. At that point, we'll probably be notified by the live currency strength indicator tables that price would more likely to continue to the upside. So again, we can use those tables to help us identify when that continuation is going to come and when the reversal is going to potentially come. So what we're going to be looking for is, where is that dominant trend going to come in, and where could it come in, and where could we look for opportunities towards that in the lower time frame, because this rally here in the market will be creating a lower time frame trend. So if I actually go down to the likes of the 4-hour time frame, for instance, and we just zoom out a little bit, you can see that this was the previous rally that we had in the market, and you can see we had like a double bottom pattern. Price was making higher highs, higher lows, little bit of a pullback there, but then it continued to push to the trend line resistance area, the higher time frame trend line resistance. Here, however, you know, price has been a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more choppy, but we're still seeing that market making those significant higher lows and prices pushing to the upside. So if that, like I said, if that's going to continue, where could it continue to? Now, if I just go to this daily time frame, zoom in a little bit, this area here is quite interesting to me, which is the 0.67 handle, because this would be significant on that weekly chart as well, where it was this previous sort of weekly lows. Okay, so that quite like the idea of price potentially coming back into this previous resistance area on the market. Now, we will have to breach a trend line to get to that, but then at that point price may come back within the trend line, and maybe we'd see a continuation to the downside at that point. But the only confluence here we would have is that sort of horizontal level of resistance. Now, I think for the moment you're probably going to be looking more towards a day trading opportunity than a trend trading opportunity, although price looks likely to come back to this resistance level here. We do have that barrier in the way, which is this trend line that has been formed from this area through there. So these two highs have come together, and we've managed to spot this area here, which actually does have confluence with a little bit of an area of resistance, which are these sort of highs through there. So if I was just to grab the crosshair tool and look left, you can see around about the 0.6525 handle, you can see that we have that sort of crossing over here of where price could potentially find some resistance, which would be sort of this little area here where we've got the horizontal resistance running to the right there, and then we have the trend line resistance running through. So two confluences at that point. So I think what we're going to be looking at is short-term moves into that area on a lower time frame. If price breaches this area, it would open the door for a move up to the 0.67 handle. However, if price holds here, then we could see another return back down towards these lows down through here. So what I'm going to do is just move lower. We're going to go to the lower time frame, see what the lower time frame is building at the moment, and you can see there's not a lot to work with, because price is we've actually had a gap here in the market on the open. Price has recovered that gap, and we've just traded sideways ever since. So this really is building up for more of a breakout opportunity, I think, if price is going to move towards this area. So if I just get rid of this, if it's going to move towards this area here, if price was to break out the high, let's say at 0.6491, then we've got at least 35-40 pips for price to head towards. So what you could be looking for is a breakout of this consolidation through here. Okay, so the price seems to be sort of trading between that 64.90 area and 64.45. So that little zone through there seems to be where price wants to trade at the moment. So if we were to trade out of that zone, I think that could be the next level of resistance. And like I said, if price then trades through that resistance level, then it opens the door for a move up to that 0.67 handle. Okay, so that's the Aussie US dollar. Looking at the narrative there, looks like we could trade a little bit higher here. Just got to be a little bit careful that there is some high time frame resistance in the way. If you are a trend trader, you're probably going to wait. You want to wait out for that breach, for that move towards the 0.67 handle. However, day traders, you may be looking for that breakout move towards those previous highs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in incorporating the live currency strength indicator tables into your trading to give you focus on the markets that are moving, then please head over to charlesclifton.co.uk. We have a trial period here for £1, so you can see if the currency strength indicator tables are for you. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.